What's up, everybody? We are back to talk about more Nerds Make Sense. I am here, and my name is Ted, and I am with.
I'm Josh.
And we're here to talk about our most anticipated games of 2019. So it started off being kind of lopsided. Josh had more than me, he had five, and I had three. But as we're setting things up, I was looking, I was like, oh, there's another game, there's another game. So made it even number. So we got 4 and 4. We're just going to talk about the game, stuff going on with it. What are we happy for? What are we worried about? What can become of it? All those things surrounding our games. So we'll throw it back to Josh so he can start us off.
Okay, well, the first game I want to talk about has been highly anticipated ever since its announcement at E3 2015. Um, Now, this game is a remake of a very beloved game of a very, very beloved franchise. Um, and that game is Final Fantasy VII. This game has been in the works for some time now, with people constantly wondering, when are we going to get it? Is it ever going to happen? And we've seen bits and pieces of footage here and there that have been released ever since the announcement, but we haven't heard much else about how the development is going until recently. Um, Now, originally the game had actually been outsourced for development by Square Enix to a company called CyberConnect 2. And they were to develop the game and then send it back to Square Enix, where they would essentially polish everything up and get it ready for release. Well, what happened was when Square Enix finally got the game back, um, they said what they got back was so completely useless that they almost couldn't use. And so, while we don't know if they scrapped it entirely, it sounds like they, pretty much started from the ground up again, and are doing it themselves now.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to let everyone know, they showed this game at E3 of 2015. It's been that long.
yeah, it's been 3 years now, going on. It'll be coming up on 4 here pretty soon. I have read a couple of different sources about a possible early 2019 release, but from some of the other articles I've read, this seems to be a little unlikely. I wouldn't expect it before mid 2019 at the earliest. But what I can confirm is the fact that it is going to be in 3 installments. Um, from multiple articles that who've done extensive research on this. So it's essentially going to be broken up into 3 full playable games. Uh, Now, we don't know how open world each of these are going to be, or if they're going to be restricted to. Um, Excuse me. If they're going to be restricted to the elements that are relevant to those sections of games, because as you know, the original Final Fantasy VII was broken up into 3 parts essentially. Um,
You're talking
so
about full. Each game is going to be a full fledged
yeah, they're
game.
they're saying that each one is going to be a fully fleshed out, and it's going to feel like a full video game for each one.
And full price.
Don't know about that yet. Don't know if they're going to do some kind of like a special deal where you buy like a ultimate edition and you get the other ones, cheaper down the line, or
Some kind of like season pass kind of thing.
yeah,
Half off.
almost like a season pass. But other than that, from what we've seen, the graphics look pretty much on par with what we got to experience in Final Fantasy 15. Um, a lot of it's going to be the same way. Instead of there being an overworld map, enemies are going to populate in the world that you're running around in. So exploration and fighting are going to be almost exactly the same as Final Fantasy 15, which was absolutely an amazing game.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, that that one really inspired me to get back into playing some of the other Final Fantasy games that I hadn't played in years. I even have several that I still haven't finished yet. Zodiac Age, I'm coming for you. But other than that, it sounds like they're working hard on it to try and get it out to us as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I know people have been really upset.
Yeah, I know there have been people really upset, but the anticipation for the game is still incredibly, incredibly high. Because, no matter how upset you get with them, with how long they take to develop a game, the end product by Square Enix is always amazing.
Yeah, and they really rebuilt the whole thing from, everything, huh?
Yeah, from ground up.
Yeah.
Other than
the trailers.
Yeah. The characters are going to look more like what you saw in Advent Children, the straight-to-video movie that came out several years ago, which was pretty damn good, mind you. I mean, the English voice acting was a little subpar. They just didn't get it lined up all that right. But the visual effects were impressive. The story itself was decent. But yeah, I'm super stoked about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I cannot wait for that to come out.
Do you think a lot of people will still be hyped for it?
Oh, I think so. Like I said, I don't think. I think if the end product is as good as what we're being told it's going to be, once it comes out, even if it does come out in 3 parts where you have to pay $40, $50, $60 a piece for, I know it sounds like a lot, and it is for some people. And obviously there's some others that it wouldn't be such a big deal for, but I realize that is a lot of money to shell out for what is essentially one game broken up into 3 parts. But I think if the final product is what they're telling us it's going to be, I think that'll forgive some of it.
Like coming from me, I never played Final Fantasy that much back then. I mostly see my friends play it. I seen you stream it, and that's when you streamed it is when I actually sat down, and watched it. Because when I played with my friends, they just were like somewhere in the story where you started from the beginning, and I watched from then. Yeah. But like, for me, I know Final Fantasy VII was the game. Everyone talked about the game. Cloud's everyone's hero. Cloud is the guy.
Yeah.
The story was good. It
was essentially the one that, I believe it, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first one, excuse me guys, I don't know why that happens every time I start talking a lot. But I believe it was the first one to ever be really marketed highly in America. So it was the one that essentially made the series. Of course, it's popular in just about everywhere that it released in, but it's most popular here in the U.S. and in Japan.
Yeah, because as a new, being new to this, when I first seen the trailer in 2015, I was amazed how well they did it. Like how it was.
Oh yeah, I mean, picking it back up in 2017, 2018, and playing it here and there, it's amazing how well the game still holds up for an original PlayStation 1 release.
What I'm worried about is that waiting for it and then being like, sorry. Waiting for the game to come out over those years and being like, where's it at? And then like, next year, nothing. Next year, nothing. And then eventually going silent. And then when Final Fantasy, what was the newest one? 15. When Final Fantasy 15 came out, now I played that one. That made me forget about the remake. Like I didn't care.
I think that's kind of what it was meant to do. It was meant to kind of take away from the fact that the remake was taking so long.
Yeah, and I loved it. I beat it. Now, I think that was the first Final Fantasy game I've ever beaten from beginning to end. Because, like I said, I never played the old ones. Like, that wasn't my thing back then. I wanted to play the new ones, but, at that point, there were no bringing them back. I think the only time we could play them is what, PS1 Classics on the PS3.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna play those.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was not gonna play those.
It wasn't until recently that they really started kind of bringing all the old ones back.
Yeah, and then with stuff coming out saying they're gonna be full price games for parts, where like I was just like, dang it. And then this is like added stuff. Like, do I really want to?
Yeah, but you also have to take.
I mean, it looks pretty.
It does. I mean, I have no doubt that it is going to be absolutely amazing. And you hear my dog walking around on the. Well, he's not really my dog, but dog I'm taking care of. He's like my dog. He's been here long enough. He might as well be.
Yeah, my thing is like, if it's like, say if it comes out the first part, and then you pay $60 for it or 60 plus tax. What if it doesn't go the way you think? Like, what if it's stops?
I think we'll know that from the very first one. You know,
what I'm saying is like, what if it stops somewhere where it doesn't fulfill? Okay, so I know like it's cut up in 3 parts, but if it starts and ends somewhere where you don't think it should have stopped, I know cliffhangers for parts, but like, what if you didn't get a lot out of that?
Yeah, that like. I see where you're coming from with that one.
Yeah, like
you know,
it's like me playing Pokemon and then I get Pikachu and it fucking ends. Like what?
Yeah, that would be like breaking up the original game after Viridian Forest. Like I want more.
Like I beat Brock. The end. Like what?
Yeah. I get where your concerns are coming from, and I'm sure a lot of people share those same concerns. But I think we'll know. I have confidence that Square Enix is going to do the job the way they need to do it, in order for fans to enjoy it. But I think we're going to know exactly how well it's going to go over with fans by the time they're done playing the first installment. Yeah. We'll get the reactions online from day one. Day one of release.
If it goes good or well, fans will be there.
Yeah, they'll be all over it.
Yeah.
We'll be over it too. We'll be all over it too. And so yeah, but. It looks like it's going to be an amazing game, and
I hope it is.
Yeah. So with that, I'll toss it back over to you. What's your first game?
All right, so I'm gonna talk about my game. So, if you guys know, I'm a huge anime fan. Love the animes. I love Smash Bros. Not an anime, but I love Smash Bros. I love fighting games. I play Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. So, one thing that's coming out next year that I'm kind of happy for is Jump Force. It was released this year? Question mark with the E3 trailer. I should have looked that up. I think it was this year's E3 or last year's E3 when it first. Or I think it was this year's. But it's coming out next year. And if you guys don't know what that is, Jump Force is a game where they get a bunch of anime characters and you fight each other. Like the last game was called. Well, I don't want to call it a sequel because it might not be a sequel. It might be a reboot, but better. But J-Star's Victory. All-Star, something like that. J-Star's Victory. It was the story mode was that you go around the world, you meet the anime characters. It's like every anime that was there: Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Bleach. What else? It was a bunch of anime. Basically, it was a fighting game, and I'm excited for it because the graphics for this one is really, really good. Like I can't believe how well they did, and I was surprised they did it because a lot of, nowadays it is, but back then, like, anime games coming to console and, like, stuff like that, it wasn't that, you didn't really see trailers for it then.
Right.
You just, like, unless it was, like, something like Pokemon, you'll see a trailer, but if it was, like, Digimon, you hardly see Digimon trailers, Dragon Ball Z is barely getting some trailers, I think. They had trailers, but you would not see them consecutively. But with J-Star Jump Force. With Jump Force, I'm excited because I know they announced some new characters like that wasn't in it. They have Yugi. That I guess there was like a DS game like this where Yugi was like a character like Pokemon Trainer from Smash Bros. Where he'll just send out something like Dark Magician and fight, and his super was Slifer the Sky Dragon. Fun fact: did you know Slifer the Sky Dragon was supposed to be Osiris?
Really?
Found that out recently. It was supposed to be Osiris the Sky Dragon.
Really?
But they renamed it Slifer as from the name of the executive producer of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's kind of weird.
That's
I don't know why they couldn't use Osiris, but Osiris Sky Dragon. Yeah, but Slifer the Sky Dragon is his ultimate.
Yeah, well, they were able to use Winged Dragon of Ra.
Yeah, but my thing is that I'm gonna talk about like the characters first. So with Yugi, usually the trailers are for Jump Force. They'll show a character and then they show other characters from that anime. So we had Goku, then we got Frieza, and then not till later we got Vegeta, and then they showed Luffy, and they got Blackbeard, who is another character from One Piece, and then I think the most recent one is some anime. I'm not even gonna mention it, but they showed his character and then another character. So if they're showing two people and they have Yugi.
Well, then it's probably, we can probably expect Kaiba at some point.
Kaiba. A lot of people say Kaiba, but the thing is, he's gonna throw out like Blue Eyes,
Blue Eyes, and Obelisk the Tormentor.
Battle Ox, Kaiser Dragon.
Well, no, I mean one of his big things is the Crush Card move.
Oh yeah, you can use Crush Card to affect him. See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if they use that, and then like, what other characters from anime are they gonna use? Because I know it's based off the Shonen Jump, so I'm not really familiar. I know they had a lot of out there characters like Bobo. That's his name. He's an anime, pretty crazy guy. They had the teacher from Assassination Classroom, if I said that right. Yeah, him. Then they had this guy. I don't know what anime he was from, but he was a policeman who rode a bike and shot toy guns and used toy helicopters. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there, and then the assist. What the thing about J-Star Victory, the one before this one, they had a lot of assist characters that I wish were actually in the game.
Right.
So, like for instance, there's an assist character. I hope I'm right. Assist character from Bleach that is now a real character in this game. So I'm hoping that some of the assist characters in that game will be brought back. I mean, there were some people from like sports anime that I don't want them here. But my thing is that I know a lot of people. I'm like me. I'm hoping that people from My Hero are in the game.
Oh, that would be nice.
Deku and All Might.
Yeah.
Don't know if they're in Shonen Jump, but for hype purposes,
I don't know.
For hype purposes, they'll be fresh.
Yeah, that would be cool.
They brought back Yusuke Urameshi, sorry, from I already forgot his anime, but they brought him back, and they brought his enemy back from Yu Yu Hakusho. So they have them. He was a staple. So I'm just wondering, like, what other anime? That's what I'm hyped about. I love anime. They have Naruto. They have Sasuke. So what I'm happy about is that anime's here. Anime's been getting in America more and more. So when I see this game, seen the trailer, I've seen trailers on TV. But you don't see a lot of those other than Pokemon in the mainstream games.
I mean, you see it a little bit more nowadays.
Yeah, a little bit more. This is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about to see the characters. The gameplay looks great. They just released the open beta that's out now when we're recording this. And they have a new create a character function. You can make your own character. That wasn't in the old one. I'm not a big fan of create a character, but...
So they're basically just trying to be an anime version of Smash Bros.
In a way, yeah, but it's not like side-scrolling. It's 3D, you can fly around and stuff.
Okay. So.
But yeah, like if the created character does look pretty good, you get moves from the characters. Like I seen a person have Kamehameha, Spirit Gun, Spirit Bomb. But the only thing I'm worried about is that how I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, do you pick? Like, I know one guy had Luffy's jacket. He's a pirate for people who don't know out there. So he had like a regular vest on, and he had Luffy's ability. But so, like, do the costumes play a part in the moveset? Like, the movesets itself? Like, can I have a moveset of Goku and then Yugi? Can I just draw Dark Magician and use Kamehameha at the same time? That's what I'm excited about. Like, the game is really good. Just seeing anime back out there. And then, also, what I'm excited for you people out there, they showed. I mean, I'll talk about it in a minute. They showed at the end of the first trailer after the release of the game, like they showed the game's name, Jump Force. It faded to black. Then it showed at the top of the building that Light Yagami from Death Note and fucking his Shinigami Ryuk was there. They're just chilling.
Nice.
But then they said that he wasn't playable because they're like, oh, what can he do? But then Yugi's playable.
Yeah.
And he's throwing cards at you. I mean, he's not throwing cards, but so it's not too far for me to believe that if he is playable, you know, Ryuk will fight for him. I guess, you know, just swing around. I mean,
yeah.
And I know in the other game, I forgot his name, the Bleach character, his ultimate was a one-shot kill. So if Light was there, you know, you just write your name down, that'll be his kill. Open the book, eyes turn red, starts laughing, writes your name, dead. So that's a lot of anticipation for me. This is my little fan of anime. I'm kind of excited to see how it goes. If it does better than J-Star Victory Versus, I think we'll see a sequel. I don't think this is a sequel. It's called Jump Force, J-Star Victory Versus, a long name.
Yeah.
And then the difference is, and I see that in each, again, the story mode of J-Star Victory Versus is like, sort of like a, you know how Budokai 3 was when you fly around?
Yeah.
That's how it was. You flew around, and then you know how sometimes you flew over something, and then, you know, you found Yamcha in the desert.
Right.
You do that in J-Star Victory Versus. You fly around, you find characters from anime. They could be an assist, or they could be, you know, on your squad. But in this one, the story mode looks like it's, I don't know, the real world is mixing with the anime world, because you have pictures of New York, and I don't know what else it was. It was New York, and then they have, like, the San Francisco Bridge with the End Valley from Naruto, when Sasuke and Naruto fought on the other side, making it look like the actual anime. So it's like a lot of our real world merging with the anime world. This is pretty cool. You know, you have Namek and stuff like that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Namek's there. So I'm really excited to see how this game goes. I'm hoping it does good, because some of these, another thing about anime games that make it not as popular is that you get filled by it. By, you know, oh, I love the anime and stuff, you want to play it, and then it's only good for like a day. That's another thing. Like, back then, anime games, when they came out, they were like $40. Now, like, you pay full 60, and if it sucks, you feel kind of bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what so I'm hoping it does good. I'm hoping that everything around it does good. It looks great from what I've seen. I just hope that there's more characters. I don't want a small roster. There wasn't that big of a roster for the last one. But I'm hoping there's, like, really good characters. Some characters that weren't in the last one.
Yeah, but you do have to kind of be careful when you're talking about big roster games like that, because some moves might get repetitive.
Yeah,
Sets might get used over and over.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that is that every anime character had its own unique thing. One was slower, some were faster. You know, they have like unique things come to that anime character, like. Naruto used shadow clones, so not every other character used shadow clones. Goku, you know, used flight and beams. I mean, some people did too, but you know, they didn't go Super Saiyan or transform. I know there was a guy in the last one who actually threw food at you. Yeah.
That would be funny to watch.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping it does well, so we can get another one. You know, so more people can be more aware. Of anime. You know, so. All right, so that's my first anticipated game. So I'm gonna throw it back to you for your second segment.
All right. Well, for my second game, oh Jesus, and here I go messing up the mic. So for my second game, I wanted to talk about the upcoming Fire Emblem's release titled Three Houses. Now, for me, I haven't been into the Fire Emblem series that long, but when I did get into it, I got into it hard. I started with Awakening a few years ago on the DS. And I playing through it, you know, I instantly fell in love with the series. Just the role-playing aspect of it. The combat system is decent. It almost reminded me a little bit of Final Fantasy in a way. And I love the idea of, tactically having to move your units around the map in such a way that you either can overpower the enemy or, outflank the enemy and, hit some of their weaker units and then go after their stronger units, stuff like that. But I'm really excited for the new game after seeing the trailer of the gameplay. The graphics for Three Houses just look absolutely amazing.
And that game's a Switch, right?
Yeah, it's going to be coming out for the Switch only.
And the only ones have been, everything else has been on 3DS.
Basically, yeah. The last, I think one of them came out for the Wii U. I'm not entirely. I don't take my word on that. Please do not take my word on that at all, because that is unconfirmed. But most of them have been for the 3DS up until now.
I only ask because, like,
at least as far as Awakening, back in 2012. That was the first 3DS release. Before that, they were on the previous incarnations of the Nintendo handheld consoles. But I mean, there's not too at least I don't know too much about this. Like I said, all I've seen is the trailer. Obviously, it's going to be centering around 3 different factions going to war with each other, because that's a common trope throughout the Fire Emblem series, is 2 or more factions going at one another. Yeah, I mean, it was just announced a couple of years ago, January 2017, actually. And then, of course, they did a quick preview of it at this year's E3, which was, really nice.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Fire Emblem. I mean, those kind of games, but there's not much on it, right? There's not really. Is there more than one trailer? Is there only one trailer?
Yeah, there's only one trailer I know of right now. Please, if there are other trailers, please, in the comments section, link me to those. I would love to see them. But I believe there's only one so far, and it's due to come out the middle of next year.
So you think it's going to be more open world?
I don't know if it's going to be so much open world,
more
but
world in general.
I think they're going to expand on, obviously upgrading the graphics and the gameplay. But I mean, as long as the story's good, that's me as a gamer. I am more of a story-driven gamer than I am, all about the fighting or stuff like that. If it's got a good story to it, I'm pretty much going to be happy with it.
Because I know that with games coming from 3DS to console, I hope there's more of everything.
Right, yeah. You hope for a little bit more, a little bit more freedom. And I'm hoping we do get that. I'm hoping they stick with the ability to customize your own character, even if,
I'm pretty sure they will.
Even if the character's, set on what they can do. Mm-hmm. I would still like to be able to make the character my own.
Yeah.
And that's,
represent you.
But that was something that we didn't get in some of the earlier Fire Emblems. You had set characters who the only thing you can really modify was the weapons they were running around with or the armor they had. You could upgrade their class to a certain point, but you had very little freedom with that, and it wasn't until Awakening that you got freedom with just about everybody. You could change their classes, except for certain characters that were meant to be certain classes, like Lucina from
Smash Bros. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was featured in Smash Bros. After her, her big debut in Awakening. And then, of course, it was brought back again in Fates, your ability to customize your character and the other units that you ran around with. But because the next game that came out of that was Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, which was actually a remake of an earlier game. And it's got a great story to it, mind you, but very limited in your customization options for your characters. So I'm definitely hoping we get the freedom to customize our characters, and maybe an open world version of a Fire Emblem game would be nice. I mean, yeah, you could travel a little. You had an overworld map that you could travel on in previous games, and you could go where you wanted to go whenever you wanted to go there. If you wanted to train up your troops and get them stronger, but it wasn't like. It wasn't like the most recent Zelda game where you could just sit there and run around the whole world, or you didn't even have as much freedom as you had with the most recent Xenoverse game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the graphics from what I saw look amazing. The gameplay looks, at least similar enough to where fans will be able to just come right into the game and play it no problem, not have any issues of picking up any new aspects. And I don't know too much about the story other than, like I said, it seems like there's going to be 3 houses or 3 factions going to war with one another. But I mean, I'm still highly anticipating the game. I love the series, and that's pretty much all I've got for that one.
Alright, so it's my turn now.
Yeah. Shoot it back over to you.
So one of my favorite games from PlayStation that hit me right in the feels is probably The Last of Us, and I'm excited for The Last of Us 2. Hopefully it comes out next year. I'm pretty sure there's no release date yet. I don't think I can pre-order the game. But I'm really excited for it because The Last of Us was a good story. For everyone out there who hasn't played it, you should, because it's discounted right now and all over the place. But Last of Us had a really good game. It was really story driven. It was beautiful. I know this part where you stand on a bridge and you see these herd of giraffe that came out of the zoo. It's like a beautiful scene. It was really great. And the combat was really good. It was third person. So for me as a gamer, I really don't like third person games, but that game I could really get into that.
I played a little bit of it with you in the multiplayer mode. I never really got around to playing the story mode, and it didn't fit for me.
Yeah, I played story mode. I played on the hardest difficulty. That's fun. I can keep playing it. It's just something that just captures me into it. One of those games I can't put down. I had to eventually put it down because I beat everything else on it. So
yeah.
But Last of Us 2 coming out. We had a couple trailers. I think we had 3. We showed us. I know most recent E3 one was the church scene when they're at a church and they're having some kind of party, and everything looks like it's all happy-go-lucky. Ellie, who's in the last one, she's I think an adult. Pretty sure she's an adult. She doesn't look like no teenager.
Yeah, well, it looks like she's either a young adult or somewhere around 18.
20 something.
Like
yeah, maybe 20.
Okay, even older. Okay.
Yeah, well, she looks 20 something. 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Okay.
She's not 50.
Right. She's not that long.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it because the story of the last one was really good. The Last of Us is that game where when you beat the game, you didn't think that there will be a sequel. It was perfect. I'm not saying the sequel's gonna be bad, but it's one of those games where if it didn't have a sequel, I'd be all right. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was one of those games. It was okay. Take it.
Yeah, but it's one of those games where you're happy, or even certain movies like that. You're happy with the way it ended, but now that you know that there's a sequel, you're ecstatic for it.
Yeah, what's happening? What's going on? Where are we at? This right 2 minutes after the game, the shit go loose. But it's pretty in the future. They even introduced some new characters. I don't know their names. I don't really know what they're about. But I'm interested in them too. How do they play into it? One big thing about it, we haven't seen Joel yet. The main character you usually play as in this Last of Us. Haven't seen him around. Don't know if he's kicked the bucket or he's just chilling.
I thought, from what I understood, I thought he died at the end of the first game.
No, he was alive. He was alive. Yeah, he In reality, if he was real life, he would have been dead.
dead.
Yeah, he should have been dead. In real life, he would have been dead. But in the
He's
game,
pulling off some Rick Grimes shit over there.
Yeah, he's alive, and he was pretty old. I don't know how old he was in the first game.
He looked like he's at least, mid-30s.
Yeah, in the beginning of the game, yeah, he looked like he was, but like in the end of it, he had gray on his hair and gray on his beard.
Oh, I mean, with all the shit they go through in that game, I would have
great. Yeah, that could have been a week later with stress, dude.
I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here 28 years old, and I've already got gray in my beard, and I've got nowhere near as much stress as this man was going through that entire game.
Yeah, The Last of Us is that game that really made me feel for, because when you play games like, for instance, like BioShock Infinite, I don't know if you played it. You have Elizabeth, who's your person who travels with you. Mm. She talks and says stuff, and she'll throw you ammo, but like she didn't die. She'll always find some way to hide, and then I'm like, "Fuck you, Elizabeth! What the fuck?" And then I'll get shot and die, and then she'll be like, "Here's a health kit." After I'm dead, she's that kind. But when you have Ellie, she can die. There's situations where, she'll jump and stab somebody or something like that, but there'll be times where someone will have her and choking her. And she'd be like, "Help!" And you have to go, oh shit! And I had to run and beat the shit out of somebody, and then it made me feel for the character.
Right.
Okay. I was like, "Oh crap, dude, she can't die.
Yeah,
she can't die here." And it sucks because if you do let her die, they have a cutscene for that. Oh, they have a cutscene for when you die too. You get your face bitten off, her neck is gouged out, or she'll fall off a cliff and die. Ew. I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. And then it's like, do you want to continue? And you're like, yeah. And then you're like, all right, let's not have that happen again. Even in the multiplayer, I say this a lot, and a lot of people make fun of me. The multiplayer is probably one of the hardest multiplayers ever played.
Oh, it was definitely very hard.
And it pulls you out of your comfort zone because it's 4v4. It's rather fight for lives. You have a certain amount of lives. If you die, it takes one. The first team that goes to 0 loses.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not that kind of person to get into those things. But when you get into it, and then for instance, when I played with my friends, when I see them, there's the animations where you can come up behind someone and shiv them in the neck. I know my friend will go over to people and he'll be quiet. We'll be like, "Oh, do you see anybody?" He'll be looking around. The first 10 seconds is you trying to find somebody.
Yeah.
For listening mode, and then you'll hear all of a sudden you'll be quiet, and then you hear, "Got you, motherfucker!" And you get stabbed in the neck, and then you could build stuff on the spot. You could build bombs, Molotovs, bats with spikes, machetes with wires, and then you just you get so intense, and then you get so angry, it brings anger out in you when you actually jump on someone and execute them, and you're beating the crap out of them. It's just so
Yeah, you really do get into it a little bit.
Yeah, it's I was like, man. And then when you lose, and it just sucks, dude. It's it sucks worse than losing anything else.
I think anytime you lose, it sucks.
Yeah, because
I don't think anybody wants to lose.
But if you play the story mode and then you feel that connection with the character in the game, and then when you go to online, those characters are your friends.
Yeah.
That's oh fuck. That's what made me feel fuck, dude. Ellie died. Fuck, you died, dude. Come on. And then another thing is that the cool thing about the online thing is that you can connect your PlayStation to your Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. But I never knew what that would do, but my friend did it. And it takes all your Facebook friends, and online you have factions. So you could be rather the Fireflies or, what was it? The Resistance, the Rebels? Something, I forgot.
Yeah,
Star Wars? But I forgot. It's been a while since I played online. But whatever faction you're in, when you play online, it gives you these missions to get food and supplies for your faction, and your faction grows with people, and your people in your faction will be renamed by your Facebook friends. So if you're on a losing streak and you don't get supplies, this thing will come "Oh, you got attacked by fireflies, half of your people dead," and then it'll say, "Oh, blah blah blah, died, blah blah blah, starved to death." I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." That's another aspect. You're fighting for your Facebook friends. I don't even talk to you no more, but you died, dude. I'm sorry. I couldn't kill them, dude. And it was really cool. And then you can customize your character a little bit. You can get mask, hats, body armor and stuff like that. And you'll switch between genders, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun. So Last of Us 2, I'm really hoping that, I'm pretty sure they're gonna copy and paste online, but with a little bit more stuff. Maybe Like back then,
Just don't go full Fortnite, please.
Yeah, no,
please,
I'm not.
whatever you
There's
do,
not gonna be no battle royale in
don't-
this. Yeah,
Don't go full Fortnite.
they don't
please.
need to do that. They don't need to do that.
You know, we don't need to be building shelters and ladders and shit like that. No,
Yeah.
just stick to building weapons and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. But with online, like what I would hope for is probably maybe no, I don't want to say more interaction because if you execute someone near a door, like if you because you like Fortnite, I don't just don't want to be like that. But when you down somebody, you can go up to them and execute them on Last of Us. So if you're next to the door, you just get the door and bam, 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 bam until they die. Like a little animation. Yeah, so I was hoping for more of those, like more because every time there was new ones, they'll go up. I want to see like, I want to like if someone's like on the edge, I just want to kick him like Spartan style off the edge and then he dies. That'll be cool and stuff like that.
Here's Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly. And do stuff like that, and hopefully now back then because I had more than one friend, more than 4 people who played The Last of Us. So when we played online, one of us would be left out. I was hoping for like maybe 5v5, but 4v4 sounds pretty good. Like I can't think of it. Like if it makes 6v6, it'd be like every other online game, Call of Duty and I don't know Battlefield, like 50,000 people playing at the same time.
Oh
but,
yeah,
yeah. But so 4v4 is unique. I mean, I think Destiny did that recently. Destiny 2, I think, was like 4v4 or something. I don't know. But it was unique at that time because there was like, unless you play like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 was 3v3 or something. But it was unique, and I hope that they keep that the same. I hope there's like new tools you can make, like I can get a shovel and double like lifesaver or something.
That would be interesting.
A nail gun, like I just make it like I find some nails and
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool. And then they already had flamethrowers and stuff like that. Yeah, but. I'm really excited for it. I'm really to see where they go from this because it's always.
It'd also be interesting to see if they could create variations on old weapons, like so instead of the bat with spikes on it, maybe you can do a bat with barbed wire around it.
Oh yeah,
go full Lucille.
Yeah. little pig, dude. I would so do that. Another thing what's cool about Last of Us is that you could Last of Us is that you could climb on shit and all the time. I know there's times where I'll be like I'll always run off of myself.
Yeah.
I'll go and then I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole team here, so I'm running away and I'm waiting for my team to come get me, like my friends, and I'll be like running around the car and they're like the guy's swinging at me and shooting at me and I'm dodging them by jumping over the car and then my friends come. I love doing stuff like that. I hope you can climb trees, like to an extent. I don't want to be hiding there. Yeah. Like climb a tree and then you see someone that bam and then execute like slit throat, So I'm waiting to mostly I'm excited for the story more than the multiplayer because I'm waiting to see how they raise the bar for it. When it was up here. You can't see me, but pretty high in the air. Right? But I want to see how far they go. Like what's the next big thing I'm gonna cry about in that game?
Yeah, you gotta have something emotional.
Yeah, something emotional. Yeah, can't wait to get connected to these characters.
So one question I do have for you, the girl's name is what, Ellie, right? Ellie. So from the trailers that you've seen so far and some of the gameplay footage, are you happy with the direction that they're going with her character progression?
Yeah, I'll say she is because in the last game, we got really close to her, throughout the game, she'll tell jokes to you and whatnot. So seeing her she's okay after everything that happened in the last one is good. I know a lot of people are like, where's Joel? I mean, I'm like that too, but they're mad you might play as Ellie. I mean, I don't know why you'd be mad about that because we did play as Ellie in the DLC of Last of Us. Yeah, retelling her story. You play it as her the whole game. I don't know why you get upset. There's even parts where you play as her in the main story. Right. So yeah, I say I like how she is. She's living this new world that she's in. That trying to live a normal life. Oh yeah, and she I guess she likes girls. I guess she kissed a girl in the trailer.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and that's that's
part
of the question.
As in Last of Us in the first one with Ellie, I loved her like a daughter. So when I was like, dude, she better not have no boyfriend, So with this, I'm happy. Let's go. You can't have that problem no more. I didn't want no guy being mean to her. I said, I'll kill him off.
Yeah, but now you got to worry about girls being mean to her.
No, but you know, I'm like, it's gonna happen. Yeah, and I'm be overprotective of her, even though she's a video game character. She's my daughter.
And you know what? For true gamers, there's always that one game or series where you just connect with the characters so much that they become like your extended family, your best friends. Yeah. It's like and if you lose one of those characters, you feel for that. You feel that. You feel the real pain. Mm-hmm. Like I've had, I think I've only ever had 2 different video game series where that has ever happened, and it's the Dragon Age series and the Mass Effect series. Now for the Mass Effect series, it was Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. But for Dragon Age, it was just the first Dragon Age game, Dragon Age Origins. I got, you get to know those characters so in depth that, if one of them dies or when the game ends, it's like you don't want it to be over. For example, I'd give a quick example from the Mass Effect series, from Mass Effect 2. There is a point at the end of the game, and this is a minor spoiler for anybody who hasn't played the series yet. If you haven't, what have you been doing for the last, decade? But it's towards the end of the game where you're on the enemy's main base, and you're trying to stop them from killing your crew, who they've already captured from earlier in the game. And if you make the wrong decisions, one of your teammates, whose name is Garrus Vicarian, and he's an alien, but he becomes like your best friend in the series. If you make the wrong decisions, he can end up dying on your way to trying to save everybody. And that ended up happening to me once through one of the playthroughs, and it was the very first playthrough I ever did on that game. And I was when he got carried off by this swarm of mechanical bugs, and he was never to be seen again. I was like, I had to pause the game. I was so fucking heartbroken. I was literally in tears, crying, "Come back, Harris, come back."
Yeah, dude, it's rough. It's rough. The games do that to you, and then on top of that, with the character getting close to these characters online, it also shapes the outside of the game. Because when you're playing a game, when you're playing The Last of Us, and you have to sneak around and you hear stuff, and you have to if I use this bottle, I could break it and stab this person. So I'm walking down the street and I hear someone following me. I'm like, all right, there's that glass bottle right there. Maybe I can do the same thing if someone attacks me right now. Or you hear stuff and you're like, oh, what was that? Maybe that's something coming for me. You get stuck in that.
Yeah,
and that's when you know a game's good, when you have to think about that stuff outside of the game.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm expecting. It's one of my top games. So probably the top game I'm waiting for next year is The Last of Us. I can't wait to play it.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, that's back to you.
Yeah. So now this next series I've been playing for quite a long time, and the next game to come out is actually due out on the 18th of January, which is a little shout out early, but that'll be my little brother's 21st birthday. We're gonna get him wasted. No, I mean we might. There's no telling. But it's Ace Combat 7, and I started playing the Ace Combat series back on the PlayStation 2 when the first Ace Combat that came out for the PlayStation 2, which was Ace Combat 4, because I think before that they were actually known under another name or something like that. But I haven't played anything before 4. But 4 got me started on the series, and it's been a wild ride ever since. And it takes place on an alternate Earth. All of them, all of them take place on an alternate version of Earth. And you end up becoming this mercenary pilot for a faction who's basically always you're struggling to survive the entire game and try to be this this big bad ace pilot the whole way through. And with Ace Combat 7, it's actually from what I understand, it's only the second time in the series where it's either a continuation or based off of another game. The only other time they've ever done this was with Ace Combat 5 and Ace Combat 0, where 0 was actually a prequel to the events of Ace Combat 5. But Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, is actually a direct sequel to Ace Combat 6, and I can't remember the subtitle name for it. Give me just a second here, people.
While he's looking for that, I'm gonna let everyone know I've never been a fan of that kind of game, but I know a lot of people like it. I know a couple of friends who played it, but I know recently, I don't know if it's for this game, but they had a combat game for VR. I think it was Ace Combat. Is Ace Combat for VR?
This one is going to be VR.
Okay, so
compatible.
they showed footage of some guy playing it. I'm not gonna lie, that looked pretty cool in VR. For people who are watching this, I'm not a big fan of VR. I never, a lot of people hyped it up, but I've never been a fan for VR. But that's and oddly enough, it's for a game I don't like. The VR, the gameplay for it was pretty cool. It showed him get out of the air base, and he flew, and then all of a sudden there's freaking tanks shooting at the sky.
Oh yeah,
dude! I was like, holy crap! Even the dude in the trailer was freaking out.
Yeah, it gets crazy. Even when you're not playing in VR, the game gets crazy at times, because there are weapons that are completely science fiction that are able to be used, and some of the games do get crazy. Some of them are pretty tame and, stick with the available technology of the time. But the name that I was looking for it's Ace Combat. So it's Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is a direct sequel to Ace Combat 6 Fires of Liberation. And from what I understand, it picks up where where 6 left off. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I can really describe this to anybody who hasn't played the series, but it's just, yes, it's repetitive, but what else are you going to do with,
flying in the air,
shooting down other planes and blowing up, stuff on the ground. But it's, it's the little differences that they add into each little game, the graphic improvements, and what you do play it for is if you like flying. It's for me, it's the closest thing I'm ever going to get to actually becoming a military fighter pilot, because of my eyes. Because even if I were to lose the 200 pounds that would be required for me to even enter the Air Force, I'd never be allowed to fly because of my eyes. And it's a little bit of a bummer, but this gets me close. Or at least as close as I'm ever going to come. I guess the real life closest equivalent would be if I got my commercial pilot's license or something like that. Or my private pilot's license. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that goes. But that might be something fun to do one day. But yeah, it is going to be VR compatible. If only they would make the VR stuff a little less expensive. Yeah. Maybe people could actually play it in VR.
Dude, it's the future. It has to be expensive.
Yeah, but come on. You know that if you drop the price on that to $100 a pop, then
it'll double everything.
Yeah, you're gonna double your sales big time. Because you cannot honestly tell me it cost you $400 to make that thing. Yeah, that piece of plastic with a screen on it. Mm-hmm. You cannot tell me it cost you $400 to do that.
So when you say it's like a direct sequel, are you saying that the other ones aren't sequels, like they don't continue?
No, yeah. So Ace Combat 5 is a completely different story, set on a different alternate Earth from Ace Combat 4, and of course Ace Combat 0 is a prequel to 5. But and then when you go into Ace Combat 6, you go into Ace Combat Infinity, and the other there's one other one that I've actually played. Why can't I find it? Okay. Assault Horizon. Assault Horizon was actually the only one that has that has in the series taken place on our real world Earth. Meaning, United States, Russia, UK, they all exist. So it's the closest one that has come to being actually played on a real world variant of Earth. But all the others have all taken place on basically alternate Earths. What could have been kind of deal with similar technology to what we have now. So I think 1, 2. I'm not sure about the whole story between the first, second, and third ones, but I know 4 is set on an alternate Earth. 5 is set on an alternate Earth from 4. 6 is set on an alternate Earth from 5, but 7 is the first one to actually be a direct sequel to a previous Ace Combat installment.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, so far, my favorite games out of the entire series have been 4 and 0. Just because of 4 was obviously the one that got me started. And 0 was unique in a certain way. Because in Ace Combat 5, I think they tried to throw too much onto you. In the way that you're not just flying by yourself anymore. You've actually got a squadron that you fly with. Not just a wingman, but an entire squadron that you fly. Well, not really an entire squad. It's a 4-man squadron. So you're not only in control of yourself in that game, but you're also in control of the 3 other pilots that you fly with. Not direct control, but you can give them orders to do, go attack your target or defend you or whatever. And then in Ace Combat 0, they actually took a step back from that, which I think helped the series because it gives you a wingman, but that's it. And you can still do the same thing. You can have him defend you. You can have him go attack your target. You can go have him do whatever he wants to do. But another unique thing about Ace Combat 0 that I really, really enjoyed was you have like certain enemy squadrons that you'll go up against that have like names similar to yourself, whereas and those certain ones later in the game are influenced by who you shoot down earlier on in the game. So like, and I don't remember all of the names because it's been such a long time since I played 0. But for like example, if you shoot down Reaper and Skystalker Squadron, later on that'll automatically set you up to go head to head against I use both of my good names right there. It'll set you up to automatically go against Killer Squadron, whereas if you only shoot down all of the planes for Reaper Squadron and you shoot down like 2 planes from I am terrible at creating names on the fly. Apparently like 2 is my limit.
Cool Boy 69.
Or Cobalt Squadron, and it'll set you automatically up with like to fight Blue Squadron later on or some shit like that. So it would influence. It would be like those games where you make certain choices that impact how the way the story ends later on. And that's the way that would work out. Now, Ace Combat 6 Infinity and Assault Horizon, they both kind of took a step back to where you were just controlling one plane. So I have no idea if they're going to keep with that with Ace Combat 7, but it seems like that is the thing. You're just going to be controlling your player's plane, and that's it. But it seems like it's going to be a very interesting game. I hope the story continues to go well. I hope they don't screw it up like certain people have been doing with some sequels. Mm-hmm. We won't mention names, BioWare. And we'll be getting into that in a little bit about BioWare. But until then, I believe the next one is yours, sir.
All right, so another game that I've been waiting for a long time. 13 years. It's been 13 years. 13, 46, 17, 19, yes, 13 years. So, Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally coming out next year. I say finally because it's been a hell of a couple of years. But
it's almost worse than Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. But they've been remastering all the old games, so keeping me entertained for a while. But I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's been a long time coming. We've been seeing more trailers more than ever that we have of the game, and it looks great. They have a little thing about it is that they show each world in each trailer sometimes, and sometimes they recap the last world. Like they had Pirates of the Caribbean again. You know, they had them on the ship in the sand. That was great. They had Big Hero 6. That was great too, on the San Francisco Bridge. You know, they show a lot of old characters, some new characters, new worlds. It's just exciting. Like, Kingdom Hearts has been a thing for me for a long time. I'm a huge fan. But there's been a lot of stuff going on with it. You know, being delayed, being said to come out this year at the end of the year, being pushed to next year, the beginning of the year. But I feel like with everything saying, like you said about Final Fantasy, like the end product probably will definitely pay off from what we've seen.
Yeah, from that trailer that you showed me the other day, I mean, it looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. It makes me want to get back into and actually finish the first two games that I never even really started.
Yeah, it makes me want to play all of them over again. Yeah, it's they showed some new summonings, like you have Wreck-It Ralph, you know, I'm pretty sure it's Simba, and he's like a flame, you know, he has fire all around. Little Mermaid. You know, it's pretty cool with how they're doing it. I know they have I forgot what they're called, but there's certain events that happen that you can call like some Disney ride, like the teacups, then the little water ride, the little water rafting goes all over. You can hit enemies with it. Then they have the ship that goes like this. I don't know what it's called. It's from I don't remember it from Disneyland, but it hits enemies in the area. It goes in a circle of around and around. And yeah, no, the worlds. And I don't think they showed every world yet. They did say there's not going to be a lot of worlds, really? But there's going to be 80 plus hours of gameplay.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so that's exciting. It better be 80 hours. I forgot. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Sounds like you're going to be spending a lot of time on each world then.
Yeah, or in Kingdom Hearts, you always play through one world first, and you have to go back to it because something else happens there.
Yeah. So
you always will have to go back. So yeah, it looks like we'll have to go back a lot more. But yeah, I can't wait for it. I mean, there's a lot of they just announced another game coming out for Kingdom Hearts called The Story Thus Far, which has all the remastered games that came out, 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, all of them on one game, on one disc, and on PS4. I'm interested in buying that because I never had them all on one system other than the PS2 ones. I traded the old ones in because I don't play PS3 no more.
Yeah.
I beat the PS4 one, the 2.8, so I was like, all of them on one? It's kind of cool,
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, but not a little bit. What I'm worried for is that hopefully that each world has something. I mean, it is unique, all of them. They showed I don't remember the world, Frozen's world. A lot of stuff you can do in there. Going down the mountain on the sled, getting chased by all those Heartless and stuff. That's so cool. What I'm just worried about is that, like I told you, like hopefully that we waited this long this long and,
Yeah.
it being bad. And you know, it's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah,
Like,
it is.
I mean, 2015 to 2019 for Final Fantasy VII compared to 2005 to 2018. That's a long time. I know my friend Raquel. I call her Queen Raquel because she's a diehard fan
Yeah.
of Kingdom Hearts, and I have to go back and ask her some things like, what did he mean by this? And then she'll send me like 10 texts, a full paragraph for that one answer, for that one question. So yeah. So I know she's kind of worried that it's been too long. You know, she was saying that hopefully it pays off. You know, she's excited for it. You know, but she's worried like all of us. Like hopefully it does pay off.
Yeah.
The story, I would tell you about the story, but it's like trying to tell you all of it without going back to all the other ones.
Yeah, no, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult, but
that was what I was trying to do with Ace Combat. I was trying not to have it drag too long.
yeah. So I'm just gonna skip that. But if you guys see the trailers, you can see how beautiful it is compared to the old ones. I think when they announced 2.8, that was supposed to give you a taste how it's supposed to look on a new system.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys played 2.8, you can see how smooth it was and how beautiful it looked on a PS4, 1080p, you know. There's new commands you can do and stuff like that where you play. And it also tells a story that you haven't seen. It was a new story. It was something that happened in between games that you didn't know about. But yeah, on a PS4 it looks great. Even the trailers and the thing that it's like a little thing I didn't like about the old Kingdom Hearts games is that if you talk to someone, you have to read if it's not a cutscene, you had to read text.
Yeah.
And sometimes as a gamer you're like you keep pressing X and you're like, what did he say? And you have to go back. But in this game, it's confirmed that even if you talk to someone again, if it's not a cutscene, they talk back to you. I know it's stupid to say that. I'm glad that's a thing. But when you're in a hurry, do this. Cut to the point. Where do I gotta go? Like, if you talk to them, there will be a text so you can read if you have subtitles on. But they will talk to you.
Right.
They won't be like you have to read through the whole thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's a little cool thing. Features, and then a lot of people thing you can do with the keyblades now. That each keyblade has like a unique thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, let's see if I remember the Toy Story one. Like it becomes like a hammer, like a bang.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then I'm excited for it. Like I know that a lot of people like me were thinking that when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, we're gonna have Moana. We're gonna have
everybody from the recent movies that have come out.
But it's in a time frame.
Right.
Even though we're here in 2018, it's in a time frame.
Right.
So it's like they have Frozen, Rapunzel. What else they have?
So he's behind us by a few years.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that Moana won't be. I'm pretty sure Moana is going to be a thing.
Kingdom Hearts 4, people. Kingdom Hearts 4 confirmed right here.
In 2045, we will get that Kingdom Hearts 4. I'll be dead. My kids will play it.
Oh, no. You'll only be, 50-something?
Yeah, I might as well be dead.
Yeah, but see, by that time, your kids will be old enough and be out of the house to where you'll have time to play video games
I'm
again.
off the right if you can't hold the controller. Hopefully, I'm like a full dive into the game. Get
Either
stuck
that or
in that
just
world.
buy yourself a pair of robotic hands.
Here.
Replace those arthritic knuckles,
Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of people like me were like, oh man. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I was like, oh man, Disney got Star Wars, Disney got Marvel. I mean, I'm pretty sure down the line.
Disney got fucking everything.
I'm pretty sure down the line we'll see I don't know what they'll call the world, because each world has like a specific name, I guess. And then I don't know if you'll see New York City, and then you got the Avengers Tower. You know how cool that would be?
That would be pretty cool.
To have Sora with the Avengers.
But
right?
I mean, what would Sora's superpower be?
That's the thing. It doesn't have to have a super. Like in when you said that in the Big Hero.
You don't want to make him a freaking Hawkeye with a sword.
No, for instance, in the Big Hero 6 trailer, you know how they have their heroes.
Yeah.
He references his hero name in that, and what he does, he's him, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are the Keyblade something. The 3 Keyblades or something like that, So they made a superhero out of him, and he don't have to. He has his own power, He used magic and whatnot. But picture the end of sort of the end of the first Avengers movie, like when they're there and they have like the aliens. I forgot what they're called. What are they called?
Oh,
I was gonna say Thralls for Destiny, but they look like them.
Oh man.
But you know what I'm saying. You know, after the Hulk begins,
It's
the
like
Hulk.
Chitauri or something.
Yeah,
like
the
that?
Chitauri. I think it's a Chitauri. So they're like, they have the big worm there, and then they'll have some Heartless there, and then it has like Captain America, Black Widow.
Could you imagine Heartless Chitauri?
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Oh my god!
Dude, some of these Heartlesses are crazy, dude. Like, and then you have like, and then it has that scene where when they spin around the team.
Heartless Thanos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That would be crazy. And they have that scene where they show Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, the Hulk, and then the Sora Donald, the Goofy, right there. Let's go, guys! I brought the party to you. And then they have the fucking Heartless Chitauri freaking worm whale thing, and you're fighting it, and then the scene where it shows like every Avenger helping each other. Like when Iron Man stopped and he shot his ray into the Captain America's shield and he directed it, kill a bunch of people. Like that would be cool, and they come and help Sora. That would be so cool. And then like you're fighting, you're helping Luke Skywalker fight Darth Vader.
Oh God, no! Please,
that would be so fresh, dude. You say no, but I guarantee you, I'll mark my words. If that ever happens, and you and I want to record your reaction.
Pardon the pun, but could you imagine Heartless stormtroopers?
Yeah, dude, it can happen. Like there's in Tangle's world, there's Heartless freaking dandelions or something, dude. There's Heartlesses or anything, dude. They just take something of the world.
Or well, what I meant to say was, pardon the pun, but fans would rebel against Heartless stormtroopers.
I doubt it. If it's good enough and they execute it well enough, like the whole thing I told you right now about the Avengers, I'm pretty sure it's not that bad. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, and if they did it, I think it would be pretty cool.
But see, here's the thing:
they wouldn't Keyblade.
They wouldn't give us Luke versus Darth Vader. They would give us Rey versus Kylo Ren. That's the closest we would get.
Yeah, if they want to start us somewhere in the middle, huh? Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. They'll still be cool. Yeah, but like that's what I was hoping for. But a lot of people were hoping for that, but we got those older ones.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for a Lilo and Stitch world. We don't get that.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
The closest thing we got was from Birth by Sleep is when you're in space and you're on Gontu's ship.
Oh, okay.
That's the only closest thing, and you have to fight the electricity. Stitch's cousin, the electricity one.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember what they're all called.
Yeah, I don't know, 6'2" something.
Well, I mean, Lilo gave them all names, but I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, you fight I think you fight Gantu, and then you fight the little electrical thing, But that's the closest thing we had, Lilo and Stitch. I'm waiting for that. We had Mulan and all that, but yeah, if this does good, I'm pretty sure if this game does good, which I'm pretty sure it will do, right? And this isn't the last game for a lot of people. I know a lot of people think like a 3 is like the last game. Yeah. Look at Black Ops 4; it's still here. But
yeah, but I mean, Call of Duty is just like
it's that game.
It's the series you want to die, but
you
never will.
Yeah. So Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't the last game. It's a last part for a story arc of something that happens in all the games.
Okay.
And the next game is going to continue a new story, continuing off of that.
You think Cloud will show up in the new one?
That'd be cool.
Come back?
Both games took freaking years to make. They better cross paths them. Hey, dude, we're halfway through Final Fantasy VII remake. Oh, dude, we're 13 years in ours. Cool. Yeah, like a Final Fantasy. There are Final Fantasy characters that are in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud was in both 1 and 2, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Sephiroth.
Dude,
I hope there's a Sephiroth fight. I remember playing the hardest difficulty with my friend Vincent, and we would race to see who beat Sephiroth. He beat it first, dude. Dude, I didn't finish that for a long time. He was like, Ted, are you okay? You're not talking. I was like, dude, I'm not talking to anybody. I just muted my mic, dude. The cussing and profanity I said in that should not be heard by anybody.
Oh, come on. You've had worse on here already.
No, dude, I said some things. For instance, playing the hardest difficulty on Aladdin's World in Kingdom Hearts 2, it was a time trial. Then you had to fight these big Heartless that were like these fat ones, and you had to hit them from behind to do damage.
Yeah.
And dude, and the hardest difficulty, dude, and then try to
Yeah.
fight them, and then you run out of time, dude. I was getting mad at everything. Like I was saying, and Kingdom Hearts 3. I hope Carpet dies. I hope he gets shredded. I hope Abu becomes a carpet, dude. Like I was saying, I hope Aladdin dies. Like I was like, I hope this world's just obliterated.
Jeez.
Opening scenes of Kingdom Hearts 3, Agrabah's was gone by the Heartless.
Speaking of opening scenes, did you see the new trailer for the live action Aladdin movie?
Yeah.
That looks pretty freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
And now, one thing I'm not too sure about is the whole, Will Smith being the genie
I
thing.
he'll do great.
I hope he does. Trust me, I
Yeah.
hope he does. But, I mean, I think the biggest thing he's going to have against him is everybody's going to be comparing his performance to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
The late, great Robin Williams. And I don't know. People might kill him for that, But, I mean, Will, if for some reason, you end up hearing this at some point, I hope you do a great job. I hope the movie comes out great, and, I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. But with Kingdom Hearts, I'm really excited for that. It's been a long time waiting. I played through all the games again when that new one comes out until the game comes out. The new Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's something that, I wouldn't say people who haven't played the game jump into it because it's one of those games where, like, if you want to jump into it, you have to start, like, from the beginning, play all the multiple ones. Because this has all the game. This Kingdom Hearts thing brings every Kingdom Hearts game that's been out, even the mobile game, and brings it into one. Guess what Kingdom Hearts 3 does? Everything you learned, everything you didn't think you learned, it's there.
Wow.
So that's what I'm excited for. Like, it's something that's been building up for years. 13 to be exact. But yeah, that's what I'm excited for. So what number are we on? Is that my third one?
That would be number 3 for each of us.
So this is our last one?
Yeah, we're finally on to the last one, an hour and 15 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, so go ahead, you can start your next one.
All right. Well, for my last one, and I understand this game to be a little controversial. I'm not so much anticipating it as much as there are other people. It is a highly anticipated game. Also, it's a highly controversial game. And that's the game Anthem. It's the latest collaboration from BioWare and EA. And it's going to be a third-person perspective shooter. And basically, you are a mercenary called a freelancer, and you are on I think it's some kind of alien world, from what I understand. And when you travel outside, you put on this suit called a Javelin, and the suits are supposed to be fully customizable. I don't know how customizable the weapons are going to be. But, you go outside and you do missions, similar to some of the other BioWare EA games, where, it's going to be story-driven. I don't know too much about the story itself, but you're going to be able to play with up to 3 other people at a time, so you can have a group of 4 running around this unknown world, shooting monsters and other players. And from the trailers that I've seen, the graphics look amazing.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I'm not too sure about, like I said, I'm not too sure about the story itself. I don't know exactly what it entails. I know a lot of this, a lot of similar gameplay style from the more recent Mass Effect game are essentially being pulled over. You're going to be able to get to know and talk to NPCs. Although one notable absence, and this is kind of unusual for a BioWare game as of late, is no relationships. You can't have any romances with NPC characters like you could in the past.
You do that in Mass Effect?
You can do that in Mass Effect. You can do that in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Just about any other BioWare game that's ever been made, you can form relationships with NPCs. You can even go as far as having romances with certain ones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that will not be in Anthem. You will not be able to form romances, but you'll still be able to get to know other characters, and I would imagine form deeper bonds, and it'll allow access to certain abilities or items or something like that.
The power of friendship.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the things that I think makes Anthem as controversial as it has been is it comes from the Mass Effect fans. Because to be honest, we were expecting so much from Andromeda, and it just didn't happen.
Trash, 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 trash.
You know what? I would say it wasn't complete trash. It had the potential to completely, I wouldn't say reboot the franchise, but definitely carry it in the right direction. But some of the in-game stuff felt shoddy and rushed. And then, of course, excuse me, people, that would be my computer sounding off when I thought I had turned the speaker off. That problem is now corrected. But we even didn't get one of our promised DLCs, so people who bought the season pass got screwed over big time. And we never found out about certain because if you don't know, for those who don't know, the story of Andromeda is that the races, the Mass Effect races, as a kind of like another option to trying to survive the massive Reaper attack that was set to come, launched what they called arcs, which were essentially giant spaceships that carried thousands of people from humans, Asari, Turians, Solarians, and the other races that inhabit the Milky Way galaxy, and basically shot them all off towards Andromeda to try and make a new life in case the civilizations from the Milky Way galaxy were all wiped out. And one of the things that we were originally promised, or was at least rumored, was that we would find out what happened to a particular arc that didn't show up in the main game. And I'm trying to remember the name of the species that the arc belonged to, and it was, oh God, I'm having a little bit difficulty with my memory here today. And I'm gonna remember this in about 2 hours from now, and I'm just gonna kick myself. But anyways, we were expecting to get that as part of the DLC, and I think we got one DLC, and then we got a message from BioWare saying that we apologize for the inconvenience, but we will not be releasing any more DLC for this game, and people just exploded. And a lot of people assume that it was so that EA and BioWare could focus on the development and release of Anthem, which is why Anthem has gotten such negative feedback.
You ruined my game, Anthem. You ruined it all.
Over the last several months, especially when they started to release bigger announcements for it after the whole Mass Effect fiasco.
So you think if Anthem does good, people will be happy about it? Or no?
I don't know. I know it's getting about 50-50 press right now. 50 negative, 50 positive press. Mm-hmm. Because the game itself does look good.
Yes, sir.
From what we've seen, the visuals, the graphics, they look great. The gameplay looks easy enough to get into. Mm-hmm. But I guess it would all have to be decided in sales. How well the game does.
Yeah.
With that, I'm gonna go ahead and ship it back over to you for your last game.
My last game is kind of close to home. It's what really made me start being a gamer a little bit. So I didn't really want to talk about it because there's not a lot of information about it. But Josh really talked me into it, so I'm gonna talk about it. So I want to talk about Pokemon. So when they announced
It's you and me.
when they announced Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, after that announcement they briefly said that in 2019 we're getting a concrete original canon,
Core
game, RPG. If you don't know, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is more like Pokemon Go
on steroids.
Yeah. It's not the original Pokemon game that we know, like Red, Blue, Yellow, and all the other colors of the rainbow that we know. So in 2019, there's supposed to be Gen 8. That's what it's gonna be. Gen 8 is gonna come out. We got a hint of a new Pokemon recently. Meltan. Yeah, Meltan. He's probably a new Pokemon from the new generation. So a lot of people are worried about. I'm excited for the game. I'm excited for every Pokemon game. I don't care if you don't like the Pokemon in it. I'm excited for every Pokemon game. Even Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Even though I wish it wasn't Pokemon Go, I'm still gonna play it. I'm still excited for it. It's a Pokemon game on the Switch, a console game, Pokemon game. That's. I know we had some, Coliseum, Gale of Darkness. We had those, but this is sort of like the original Pokemon game I played. It's also a test to see how it will do on a system, and then when it's like a stepping stone to the next game, the core game that we have. So, a lot of things I'm excited about is that the graphics, more stuff to do in the world. Open worlds in every game now. But for Pokemon,
got our fingers crossed.
People have been wanting open world. I'm not. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like we can go from whatever region we're in now to Kanto and all that, but it will be a bigger world we can explore on our own. Like we can do more in there. We can more visuals. More stuff we can do in there, and I'm hoping for bigger console, bigger game, more Pokemon, more new Pokemon. Because if you guys don't know, first was 151 Pokemon, but as the gens go, last gen. What's the last gen? No, I think it was. Thinking. I can't remember the freaking game. There's so many Pokemon games. X and Y. I think that was the lowest Pokedex count of original Pokemon that we got.
Yeah.
And even in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we didn't get new Pokemon. We got new versions of Pokemon, the Lowland forms. So I'm hoping with this one we get original new Pokemon that's not a new form.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for that. I'm excited for that. And what I'm kind of worried about is that a lot of people are worried about, which I don't think is going to happen, but if sales are sales, they're going to put it, that the Go mechanics will carry on into the new generation.
The core stuff?
Yeah. I'm not... Pokemon Go is cool. I like it. I'm not going to say I hate it because I play it. I still have the app on my phone. I play with you. But I don't think that can be really good in the game. Like, I'm like I said, I'm excited for every Pokemon game that comes out. But Zippy Zappy and Flamey Punch or whatever the heck they have, that's not going to cut it for me. Yeah. It's not going to cut it for a lot of people. Whatever those new moves they have.
I actually like the whole thing of having the Joy-Con and,
oh, yeah, that's
flicking
cool.
the Joy-Con
like, they throw keep that.
The Pokeball. That's pretty cool. But one of the things I am a little upset about the whole, Pokemon Go thing is the elimination of battles for the most part.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, it's too... When you're sitting there just throwing Pokeballs, what happens if you run out of money and you can't buy Pokeballs?
Yeah, we have to battle, and even then, there's gonna be battles like the trainers, but like wild encounter battles is not gonna be any.
Yeah. And that's
There's not even gonna be wild encounters. They're just gonna be walking around, and
so
just like a stray
then
dog.
My question is what if you need to grind, and you've already fought all the trainers for that area?
Yeah, am I gonna have to leave the town and come back and forth like that for them to respawn?
I don't know.
See, I don't think
that was one of the key things about being able to battle wild encounters was you could sit there and train up your Pokemon if they weren't strong enough to go up against the current gym leader.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's fucking Pokemon Master. Me didn't even think about that. How am I gonna grind? What's going on here?
It's like, are they going to give?
love
I
grind.
mean, are we going to get more experience from defeating a trainer, or
I think you even get XP for capturing Pokemon. Oh, that's always been
like
thing since.
because I know from
the
the some of the previous ones, they started giving us more for defeating trainers. Plus, the thing that gave experience to all your party members, regardless of who fought, started to give you more experience that way as well. Instead of it being half, they all got the same amount.
Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu is mostly directed to the younger audience. I mean, Pokemon is for younger people, but let's be honest. For anyone who's watching this who thinks that Pokemon's for little kids, it's not. Their fan base is guaranteed our age. And I'm not saying that little kids don't play it. They do.
They are still relying on
That's
us
the-
guys who
yeah.
started playing Red, Blue, and Yellow way back in the day to still be playing today.
Playing freaking letters and colors of games now. Yeah. So everyone says it that this is mostly pointed for the kids and also the people who don't have smartphones, but kids do have smartphones. I don't know what to think.
I don't think I've seen
The kids I work with at
younger
work
than like a 2-year-old without a smartphone.
Kindergartners tell me at work that they want to go home and play on their tablet. So they have it. But yeah, it's for little kids and people who don't have a smartphone. And I get it. Some people might have missed out. They didn't miss out on much, but you got to make it into incorporated in a Pokemon game that's on a console. You know what I mean? To make it a console game. The app game is cool.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have made it for that, for a console. I mean, I guess, but in thinking as a businessman, if they didn't get a lot of money, they're going to try to incorporate it. Because you could transfer between Pokemon Go.
Right, and you can see that aspect. You can see the linking of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee to Pokemon Go.
Yeah. But it's just scary because I don't want those things to carry over. Because I watch a lot. Because I watch a lot of Pokemon stuff on YouTube, like King Nappy and all of them, and they kind of worried that if sales do good on Let's Go, they're gonna be like, oh, dude, people love it. That's what I hate about it. If sales do good, don't mean the game's good.
Yeah.
You could buy a game and you could do good, like movies. Like movies aren't good, like they say. Made $2 million in the box office, dude. The movie sucked. Don't mean it's good, but
I think to be honest, this could be a perfect chance for the Pokemon Company to sit there and make 2 types of games.
Oh yeah. One for kids.
You continue the core series for the fans who have been with it from the beginning, and you make it a little more adult themed. I mean, if you want to have a freaking 12-year-old running around the world, trying to become the next Pokemon master, whatever. But I mean, this could be the perfect opportunity for you to make a core game that is more adult themed and more geared towards a teenager or young adult
dark
type of game. I mean, it doesn't have to be overly dark, because I mean, we've seen some dark themes already in some of the past Pokemon games.
X and Y, they did genocide.
Yeah,
they killed Pokemon,
on killing everybody. He was planning on killing everybody.
Gen 3 Ruby and Sapphire wanted to flood the world.
And then you could sit there and take the Let's Go series and rehash all of the old games, but introduce it for kids.
Kid-friendly,
yeah. So that way you have, you re-inspire a love for the older games, the older series, and you introduce, kids young enough to sit there and be able to carry it over into some of the into the other
then
games.
You guys will split. Then you can get both sides can have what they want. They could test stuff over here with the little kids.
Also, they should definitely make all of the old games available for purchase on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh my god, yes. I have bought them all over twice again. I'll buy it.
I mean, I guarantee you, the minute you guys release digital copies of all the old games,
your system will go down.
Yeah,
crashed. That new online
the
service
Nintendo
crashed.
store will crash because there are so many people trying to buy it. You can just release it just like you did with red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, and crystal.
Yeah, those were fun.
Do the same thing. Just release the old games as they are.
No remaster. You can release them as they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can eventually do remasters later on.
But you could do like the remasters like you do for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do those, but like for the old ones, you don't have to.
No, I mean, I guarantee
Copy and paste.
one of the biggest thing Pokemon fans want to see is Pokemon Red up on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
We would die for it.
Pokemon Stadium, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and but mostly that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that if it does good, they're gonna see it and like it ruining the game, like because we're all set. We type changes change, mechanics change, but the element of the story is the same.
Right.
And I'm worried that this little kids thing that is named Pokemon Go are gonna try to change it. That's what I'm worried about. But overall, like I'm really still excited for it. It's a whole new journey in a console version that we've been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of opportunities for it. And I feel like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is a test to see how what they can do with it on a console, and then they're gonna do everything they can. I'm seeing if not, I see that Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu will have some things that they like, and they'll
take
pick
out
it
and
and
use
put
later
it
on.
Yeah. So like the whole since we have Joy-Con, like throwing the Pokeball, that would be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is honestly your first step to a full immersion Pokemon game.
Yeah, and to keep that, I don't know what else there is to keep the not having to use like HM slaves no more, like having optional, because you can fly with Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. He summons
you can fly with Pikachu now.
He summons a balloon out of nowhere, and they're gods. I don't know, dude. Summons a balloon and you can fly with it. You can surf with Pikachu. I mean, that's an old one as it is. Yeah, you can use cut with all of them. Yeah, you don't even since Sun and Moon, you don't have to have those no more. I won't keep that. We don't need that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited.
I did like the introduction to the way they did the HM
Pokemon
type moves.
Yeah, ride Pokemon. Strength and cut and I don't think we can cut anything in that game.
I don't remember.
I think we just used those. Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that little feature, and I like that ability to be able to sit there and use it whenever you need to, and then not have it take up one of your precious 4 slots on your Pokemon.
That's cool. This is really exciting to see what they do with it. And there's not much I could talk about. There's no region, but all we have is Meltan.
Yeah.
We don't have any. I'm pretty
so
sure.
So far, the only release for the Gen 8 stuff is Meltan.
Yeah, and just them saying that there is a core RPG game.
Yeah.
That's mainly the original Red, Blue, Yellow storylines. From the core games we know.
Although I will tell you one thing though. The fact that Meltan is supposed to be a legendary from this new region has me a little worried.
No, they released a new trailer recently.
Oh.
Yeah, they said that if you get a bunch of them together, well, they didn't show it, but if you get a bunch of them together, they turn into something.
Oh, great! He's gonna be another Zygarde.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it'd be cool that basically it'd be cool like that. But a lot of people were worried that it's a mythical Pokemon. A lot of mythical Pokemon like Celebi has power. Like, what is this thing gonna do? But it does become something else.
It's kind of. I mean, it looks just the way you described it. Freaking.
A nut with freaking
slime
silver.
body.
Yeah, slime body, dude.
It looks like somebody threw a nut on a Ditto.
Yeah, a lug nut. Yeah, there's a lot of people said it was a Ditto evolution.
Well, I mean, that would be kind of interesting. Ditto after all these years getting an actual evolution instead of just turning into other Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want new Pokemon. You hear that? I don't want that. That was the joke. I want new Pokemon. Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. That's one of the. I know The Last of Us was the game. I was like, but Pokemon is always going to be the game that I'm excited for. It's always
definitely.
It's always something new that they have. Like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon did some great things with it, but I can't wait for the new one. Whatever it's called, Pokemon XYZ Rainbow ×3.
So before we sign off here, one quick question: do you think they'll bring back Mega Evolutions?
Oh yeah, there's Mega Evolution in
Well, no, I realize that it'll come back, but I mean, do you think they'll bring us more?
I think so.
For the new series.
I think they messed up with the crystals and
the Z moves.
Because I also follow people in the competitive Pokemon scene on Facebook and all that, and a big problem with that is that I didn't know this, but every move has a Z move for it. I know that sounds dumb, but you know, like if you use psychic, it's like becomes whatever. But you could use like Z Splash and I found out Z Hypnosis. It raises your speed and puts you to sleep. Like there's so much things that you have to worry about in competitive Pokemon already. And thinking what Z move you're gonna use to get a +1 in some stat is, I feel like they messed up in that.
Yeah.
And with Mega Evolution, it was, I mean, they kind of messed up with that too because now everyone thinks everyone needs Mega Evolution, but I think it'll be easier if they just keep Mega Evolution.
Please finally give Arcanine a Mega Evolution. Please.
Yeah, make him like floofy. Make him riding on clouds, fire flying. There you go. Nimbus. That'd be cool. I'm gonna name mine as Nimbus. But yeah, I feel like Mega Evolution has something there. I feel like they did Gen 6 X and Y Mega Evolution. Gen 7 was the Z moves, and I feel like they're gonna go back to it because we have the core line with no Mega Evolution, the new remastered of games like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire with Mega Evolution in it.
Right.
And then we have this
That
Let's
game
Go.
was very, very heavily focused on Mega Evolution.
And then we have this Let's Go now. If you
Right.
think about it, there's 3 continuities in Pokemon now and timelines where.
Well, that's actually an idea for a future episode there.
Yeah, that feels like a headache.
The alternate universes of Pokemon.
And then we have we have Sun and Moon. That's. Do we even know if that's?
Oh
real?
my God,
Do we even know if that's real?
I mean,
Alternate
he's able to
reality?
travel through the freaking multiverse, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with Mega Evolution being in Let's Go Pikachu and all that, I feel like that's a hint towards something. I feel like they wouldn't have brought it back in a remastered old game.
Definitely will be interesting to see.
But yeah, but that's all the games we are anticipating, the good and the bad. We kind of talked about a little bit more off-topic stuff, but we are anticipated for these games and what they have in store in next year if they come out.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. Till the next episode. We'll see you later.
Bye, Ashraf.